Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Star Wars Meg, here with another video for The Mandalorian Season 2. So as you're all aware, Chapter 10 of Mando dropped yesterday, and there were a lot of mixed reactions to it. While some people absolutely loved the episode, the general consensus that I got, at least from the comments on my full breakdown yesterday, was that people thought it was quite slow and just a filler episode. Either way, let's be positive and look forward to Chapter 11, which drops next Friday. So this video is going to be 4 predictions I have for Chapter 11 that I've thought out based on what we got in Chapter 10. A lot of them are self-evident, but I will try to go a little bit further than what is obvious. So we're going to start with my first prediction. Just as a quick recap, in Chapter 10, Pelimoto told Mando to take Lady Frog to the moon of Trask. On the moon of Trask, he is set to find the Mandalorian Covert, as well as bring Lady Frog back in contact with her husband to fertilize the eggs that she's bringing in the egg canister. So my first prediction is that they will arrive on Trask. I, as well as many fans, believed that in Chapter 10 we were actually going to see Trask, but obviously Mando took a detour and fell into the ice planet. But I believe that we will actually see Trask, which I erroneously believed was Mon Cala until this point, now that we have a name for this moon. Now my second prediction is that we will see Lady Frog's husband and the two will get in contact. We actually do see the husband in the trailer of The Mandalorian right about here. So it does seem as though those characters will play a role as well in it. So you're probably saying that this is all obvious stuff, but let's get on to some perhaps less obvious things. My next prediction is that he will find the Mandalorian Covert because Lady Frog's husband apparently knows where to find them, and I believe they're gonna guide Mando towards the Jedi. In Chapter 10, Mando asks Pelimoto if the Mandalorians on this moon are the same ones who fled Nevarro. I think they will be, and in the Mandalorian Covert we will see the armorer who will guide Mando towards these enemy sorcerers. This will be Mando's first clue as to where to find the child's quote-unquote people. So my next prediction is that we will get Sasha Banks' character. Now I have theorized 2 possible ways that she will appear. The first way is that she is stalking Baby Yoda and Mando because she is part of the Sith or an Imperial Inquisitor, and she is there to track the child. My second prediction of a pathway that Sasha Banks could be included is that Mando is actively looking for Sasha Banks because she is playing a Jedi herself. These are the 2 most likely things, and at this point I'm going to call it now, and I might be wrong, she is not playing Sabine Wren. It wouldn't make sense in line of the way the plot is going, but again, like I say, I could be erroneous on this, but it seems like the most likely proposition is she has some sort of force-wielding power. Now on this whole subject of Sasha Banks' character, something I do really want to speak about is how erroneous some of these other Star Wars YouTubers have been when speaking about her role in Season 2. A few YouTubers were saying how she would be in Chapter 10 and in every episode throughout because it says so on IMDb. For the final time, and I've said this a few times on my channel, IMDb is not a reliable source because absolutely anyone can edit the information, including actor and actress appearances, so you can't take that as the baseline. We just have to wait and see what we get in the season. So my final prediction is how all of this will lead into Chapter 12 or Episode 4 of Season 2. So once again, we find ourselves in the position of having numerous different pathways for how Chapter 11 will feed into Chapter 12 or Episode 4 of The Mandalorian Season 2. But it all depends on the identity of Sasha Banks' character, in my opinion. If she does turn out to be a Jedi, she could guide Djarin and Baby Yoda to the surviving Jedi, and from there we could be en route to finding where Ahsoka Tano and or Ezra Bridger are. Now it is true that Ahsoka is no Jedi, but rather, as the Star Wars book puts it best, an independent fighter. She's certainly familiar with the Force and knows how to wield lightsabers with finesse and precision. Alternatively, we'll get flashbacks to some other Jedi, perhaps even Luke Skywalker. Another option here is the small possibility that Sasha Banks' character is Sabine Wren. I don't personally believe this myself, but I have seen theories that if she is Sabine, she could have trained further in the Jedi ways after Rebels, and at this point might be an ideal mentor for the child. Or, if it's a similar essence of Sabine as the one from Rebels, she could carve a path to our Togruta hero. One other option for Chapter 11 feeding into Chapter 12 is the possibility that Sasha Banks' character is a dark side user or an Imperial remnant. The Mandalorian Covert might know a thing or two about looming figures who are also after the child. This could lead to a hunt by Sasha Banks' character and would undeniably send Din and the child elsewhere in the galaxy. We also have to bear in mind here the fact that Mando is going to be very skeptical of the Jedi. We have to remember that the Armorer introduces them to him as the enemy sorcerers. So of course, using common sense, he's not going to be willing in any way to hand over the infant child to the Jedi. So in my opinion, Chapter 10 was a little bit of a side story, and like I said earlier, it was a visually spectacular episode. It just lacked plot, it lacked depth, and yeah, it was some people's cup of tea, but personally it wasn't for me. So to that extent, I do hope Chapter 11 drives the story forward and we move closer to the child being handed over to the enemy sorcerers, and seeing how Din Djarin's story arc plays out. Now, one final thing I do want to mention, and you can see this as kind of a side prediction or a bonus prediction, but it is something that I had thought about when watching Chapter 10. I do think there's going to be a link between the Frog Lady and, you know, those frog creatures that we see, and Baby Yoda. We have to bear in mind the fact that she said something which rings true of the child and the Yoda species in general. She and her species are very endangered, and that ties in well with Baby Yoda's arc. Perhaps they're going to bond over this. I don't think necessarily she's going to take on some maternal role, but I do think that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are kind of building this thematic significance with regards to the identity and the sanctity of Baby Yoda and the Yoda species in general. And I think that's really respectable in terms of writing and directing style when it comes to a show like The Mandalorian. It adds depth and complexity to the story. Something I don't think we will see though in The Mandalorian Season 2 is Baby Yoda's people. I've seen this a lot on Star Wars speculation, but like I've said a few times on my channel, Dave Filoni follows in the path of George Lucas. And something George Lucas always emphasized, especially with the original trilogy, is that Yoda's species doesn't have a name, he doesn't have a home planet, he just is like the Force. He comes and goes, and we just have to respect it. And I think Dave Filoni's going to stay true to that. I don't think we're actually going to find Baby Yoda or Yoda's species. We will be taken probably to the Jedi who know the ways of the Force, and obviously the child is Force sensitive. And even if he does have a link to Yoda or Yaddle, or even other characters we've seen before, I don't think we will be revealed the Yoda species or their home planet. So that's all I have to say. Please let me know your predictions for Chapter 11 in the comments down below, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm Star Wars Meg. Please make sure you hit like down below, subscribe if you're new, and also please consider becoming a patron of mine on Patreon. For just $2 a month, you can get exclusive access to content that is not found here on YouTube. It would mean the world to me, and without too much jibber jabber, have a great day.